So, good afternoon, everyone. So, this afternoon meditation class, today I would like to talk about body awareness practice, because I find that this is very useful, especially for some of you been very busy, when you work and you come back and you try to sit, it's very difficult because when it's very difficult to calm your mind down, and then a lot of people try to use a lot of willpower and force themselves to focus on the on the breath, and then actually it can be counterproductive. The more you try to force yourself, and then you ended up become very agitated and irritated and very frustrated when you try so hard to focus, you can't, because meditation is something that is very natural. So that's why we have to really develop the mindfulness first. So one of the way to help to develop mindfulness, before you sit, there's this body awareness. One of the body awareness practice, like walking meditation, that is one of the way to help too, because body awareness is a more causal object, because breath is very subtle. It's very subtle. So it's more difficult to be able to really stay with the breath because it's more subtle. So that's why we develop this mindfulness, on a more causal object, so like body movement, because body movement is a causal object. So you bring your awareness in, to your body, and then you paste the attention, awareness onto your bodily, movement. So you stand, I don't know how many of you do walking meditation, because I find that it's very useful. Especially when I was in early days, when I started to practice meditation, I find that walking meditation is really good, because usually if I sit for an hour, then at the beginning I have to walk for an hour. When I walk for an hour, I can easily sit for an hour without like struggling. Then after that, I walk for an hour, I can sit for 2 hours, and so on. Because when you walk, you build up your mindfulness through your body movement. And because it's easier that you to go with the causal object than to a more refined. Because this is a gradual training. So you can't force the mind. It's just like all training the same, isn't it? Like even you go to the gym, when you build up your body masses, you don't go straight away take 100 kilos, isn't it? You take 10, 20, 30. Slowly you build up your mindfulness. So that's why this is another way to help you, because sometimes a lot of people try very hard, and I have many people come to see me, they talk about the meditation, and some people even ended up they don't like to meditate, because to them it's so much suffering. When they force themselves to sit, it causes so much suffering, because we can't do that. If we can use willpower to force ourselves, to meditate, to sit, to sit down quietly and meditate. And then those with really the most willpower, got enlightened, isn't it? You can't do that, because you have to train the mind. Training the mental muscle is just like training your body muscle, like you go in the gym. You have to do it every day. You have to train your mind little by little. So that's one of the ways to help you, especially when we are very busy, we need to work. And because when the mind is so busy, you cannot just ask the mind to stop. It's just like, a vehicle so fast. Can you just pull the brake? You can't, isn't it? It's a topper over. The mind also the same. You crush your mind. You can't do that. So you have to slow the mind first before the mind stops. So one of the ways to help to slow down the mind is to practice body awareness. So do walking meditation, bring your attention, your awareness into your body, and aware of your body movement, the lifting of your leg, and when you put your leg down and you walk up and down, you turn around, you aware of your movement. So that is one of the ways that to help you to develop this mindfulness, because it's easy to focus on movement than on the breath, because breath is much more subtle. So as you build up that, and then when you sit down, and you feel that, It's actually, usually last time I used to walk an hour. Then by the time you sit down, you just bring again, you continue that, you bring your awareness to your body, feelings, sensations, and you try to relax your body. Because sometimes when our body too tense, when our body tense, our mind become really tense. When our mind tense, it's very difficult to be able to really pay attention on a very refined object, because it's all tense up. And the whole body tense up, and then sometimes you don't feel the breath. The harder you try to watch the breath, you can't feel anything, because your mind is too tense, and because your body is so tense, and you're not relaxed enough. So after you build up the mindfulness, through walking, and you sit down, and then you're just aware of the bodily sensation, just try to relax as much as you could, and then you just, aware of any parts of your body. Is it there's any tightness? You can feel, is it my shoulder, is tight, or my hand, my arms, my leg. Just bring, just sweep your body, just to aware of every part of your body. Is there any tightness in your body? And to feel how is it like. So that is the bodily sensations and feelings. It's like this is a meditation object. Because from movement, the movement is the object. Then when you sit down, your bodily sensations and feeling is your object. So as your body slowly, when you relax, the more you relax your body, because when you relax, you let go, isn't it? You don't feel so tense. So when you relax, then slowly, and you don't even have to look for the breath. So when you're relaxed, when your mind calms down, actually naturally you can feel the breath. Because actually the breath is always there, it's always there. It's only because of sometimes when we are too tense, we don't feel it. And because of our mindfulness is not refined enough, our mindfulness is not strong enough to be able to watch the breath. That's why we find it, some people say, I can't feel the breath, It's there. It's just because our mindfulness not established yet, is not strong enough. So that's why you have to build up mindfulness first. At least you have basic mindfulness, you have built up, in order to calm your body, to just stay there and bring your mind to this present moment awareness, just to aware that your bodily sensations, feelings. If you feel that, your face is tight, you just give a big smile, try to relax, and actually this being kind to yourself, sometimes actually kindness is a very good ingredient, a little bit of kindness, bring these ingredients. Sometimes, like sometimes we cook some food, some food, sometimes only one ingredient, isn't it, that makes a difference. So loving kindness is the best, it's a very good one of the ingredients, Then, you bring that loving kindness towards your body, and you just relax. So actually when your body relax and you have kindness towards your body, and it's naturally your body become calm. When your body calm down, and your mind naturally calm down. Because this is how our body, the mind also manifests into our body, So that is how, because sometimes we notice that we are tense, actually it's because come from our mind. So then we notice, because sensation and feelings is easy to work with, it's easy to watch, to observe, to pay attention compared to breath, because breath is very subtle. So then as we develop that, as we feel like we are relaxed and we are ready, then we just slowly, move our awareness, attention, put a pace on our breath. Then when we start with the breath meditation. So don't try to just sit on the cushion and force yourself that, okay, come on. And I know some people said that there's so much suffering. And they said that, why I want to meditate and cause myself so much suffering. If I don't meditate, I have less suffering. When I meditate, some people it's really agony. I remember, like, usually I do not encourage like people that to straight away to do a retreat if they don't have enough, that the practice, if they don't, some people not experienced, meditator, and they just started to learn how to meditate, and I normally do not encourage them to do especially intensive retreat. I remember one of the retreat I did many years ago when I was a lay person, and it was a very intensive retreat. You get up 3:30, you start to do walking meditation, sitting walking, and then 6:30 is the breakfast. Then immediately after that, you start to practice again, and then the lunch is 11. So after you finish, you only allowed to have 1 hour break, that is 12 to 1 o'clock, and that's the time you quickly have your shower, do whatever. Then you come back again. Hold there till 9:30, and then we have a chanting, and 10 o'clock you go back to sleep. And then you're not allowed to really, it's quite intense, and you're not allowed to go back and lie down, or it's all sit on the floor. I remember one lady told me, he said, I never done a retreat before. This is the first retreat and will be the last one. He said, I'm not going, because to her it's really in agony, forcing herself to sit like that, how much pain, because she hasn't developed yet, the mindfulness, not strong enough to be able to really do that. So actually sometimes like really putting people off, that's why I usually say you maybe you do a weekend, do a little bit, slowly, then you do a more intensive, more, and not straight away you try to force yourself, to do an intensive retreat, and it's become counterproductive, and you don't like to meditate, you ended up because so much suffering. Who want to meditate? If each time you meditate you're in agony, you think you want to meditate anymore? No, because meditation is something that you enjoy, something that you like, something that makes you peaceful, makes you happy. It's not something that you're doing, try to do the meditation. And then, if you use force, try to force our mind, it's just the same. The mind, whatever thing you push, when you have the pressure, the energy is, you push it there, the bounce back is equally same, the intensity is the same. So the harder you try to push, then the same amount of energy will bounce back. The same, the mind will have that resentment, rejection. The mind refuses to do it. The more you push the mind will refuse. It's the same thing. Anything, you push it bounces back, isn't it? The same thing. So we can't use willpower, we can't force the mind to do meditation, we can't do meditation. So we have to allow. Actually, meditation is letting go. We allow things be, we allow. Sometimes if our mind wander off, it's okay. You allow your mind to wander off, it's fine. Because each time you realize your mind wander off, you bring your mind back. And then you keep bringing back. And then if you keep practicing, practice that. So over a period of time, your mind will not wander off very far. Your mind naturally can come back because you've been training the mind to come back. So the mind won't go too far. Sometimes wander off a little bit, and it's just becomes a habit, and then naturally you come back. But you have to keep doing that. You have to train the mind. You cannot use willpower to make the mind stay. You can't. But you have to train the mind to stay. So it's okay. Maybe at the beginning, you wander off very far until that you don't know how you get there. Then you realize, how come I get here? How do I get here, And then you bring your mind back. So this is how, you can see your progress, that your mind don't go too far. And you have to keep, practicing, and then the mind actually, after a while, you have confidence in yourself, in your practice. You know that even though sometimes you wander off, even though sometimes you have some thoughts, but you have confidence that you will not get lost in your thoughts. because you wouldn't go far. You always come back because you've been training your mind, because you're not with the force, because you're with kindness, loving kindness. If your mind wander off, come on, come back. It's okay. It's all right. Come back. Then this is, you keep training the mind. So after a while, the mind is very natural. Actually, meditation is something that very natural. And you just very natural that you just want to sit there doing nothing. You just feel at ease and at peace. But not with the force and the willpower to try to make it happen and try to manufacture. You can't do that. It becomes counterproductive. And it leads to frustrations, irritation. And then eventually you stop meditating because it's not enjoyable. So because as we know, isn't it? When we let go of something, we feel relaxed, we feel good, isn't it? We feel, we feel very nice. So that's why actually meditation is a process of, letting go little by little. So as the more you let go, the happier you have more happiness. So you let go a bit, you have a little bit of happiness. You let go more, you have more happiness. If you'd be able to let go completely, then you have complete happiness. It's just, we meditate is not to achieve something, to get something, to get somewhere. Actually to let go, to allow things be, to allow whatever happening in this moment is okay. Not try to manipulate, try to change, just aware of what's happening and keep bringing your mind back to the meditation object. Like breath is like our anchor point, we just bring it back. It's just an object, so we bring it back. So this is how it's something very natural. So when it's happened natural, and then you're just happy. And you just, each time you just enjoy your meditation, and then you enjoy that being, sitting there doing nothing, you enjoy that. And this side today I offered for your reflections. I hope that today's body awareness will help you with your meditation. So now we can start to meditate, okay? Yeah, just to choose a comfortable posture and just relax your body. And just bring your awareness in your body, onto your body. And try to relax. questions or comments? Okay, so my meditations, I get to this point where I'm not there. I lose track of time, but then I'm here. Someone talk me out of the meditations. Am I sleeping or in deep meditation? Okay. If you're in deep meditations, your mind is very bright. So that is where sometimes we call it like when your mindfulness, like when your breath becomes, you become peaceful and become really calm and peaceful. And because the breath become more and more subtle. And when your mindfulness is not strong enough, to be able to really watch the breath, go with the breath. Sometimes they have it's a bit like it's a kind of like what you call it, like your mind is not bright because you get to do like half sleep, you're not quite awake because it's very comfortable and you become really peaceful, but your mindfulness is not strong. So that's why you kind of like, am I asleep or I awake, So that's why it's in this point actually it's good that you re-establish your mindfulness again by, because sometimes as you grow very peaceful and calm, is really nice because your mindfulness is not really strong enough because your breath become more and more and more subtle, and to a point that your mindfulness is not strong enough to keep up with the breath. Then you have a bit like in the drowsiness, that kind, half asleep. So you have to re-establish your mindfulness. So sometimes I think this is a very good technique. I use it myself. I find that it's very good because sometimes am I still sleeping or am I awake? But it's very comfortable. You feel really nice because it's very peaceful. It's quite nice, but your mind is not bright. You're like half asleep. So, but usually I use a technique like I will re-establish my mindfulness by just making my breath a little bit coarser, but not too much. Don't do it like that, because if you do it like that and then again it's too much, then again like you have to, your mindfulness becomes like your breath, you do it like that, then actually you have to re-establish again. But if you do it a little bit and then you can continue again, then you'll be able to go into deeper again. Because when you do it like that, and then you have to start all over again, and then it's very difficult. If each time you do it like that, and then it's very difficult for you to go deep. But you can only put a little bit of effort, not much, just a tiny bit, to make your breath a little bit coarser, because it's too subtle and it's too refined. When your mindfulness is not strong, it's too refined to be able to really go with the breath. It's very difficult. So you have to make your breath a little bit coarser. So this is definitely is not in deep meditation. If you're in deep meditation, your mind is very bright, is brilliant, is really bright, and you have lots of happiness if you're in deep meditation. So you have joy, before you go into that jhana stage, you experience the whole breath, and then you experience the feelings, that is the joy and happiness. Then you experience the mind, then your mind is really bright. So this is definitely is not in deep meditation. It's just that your mindfulness is not strong enough. So then you have to re-establish your mindfulness by just putting a little bit of effort, your breath, to make your breath a little bit coarser. So second question is, I struggle to sit without pain in my back. is it possible to lay down to meditate? So of course, because laying down, there's a possibility that very easily that you go to sleep. Of course, sometimes if you are really in pain, you really can't sit. Then of course, for example, some people bedridden, they cannot sit, they have to lie down. Then you have to meditate lying down, meditation. I mean, you can, but unless you be able to develop your mindfulness is so strong, usually when you lie down, it's so comfortable and usually will fall asleep. So try to avoid that, But of course, if you are really sick, you are not well, and you can't sit up, and then it's okay, you just lie down and meditate. But if you can sit, it's good to sit. Unless you be able to lie down without getting fall and sleep, then it's okay. But because it's too comfortable, and very likely you fall asleep if you lie down. So the third question, is it a good idea to make a schedule of what day and time to meditate, or is better to just meditate when I feel like it? Yes, because actually it's because if you try to do the meditation and give a lot of structure, sometimes I know myself, you sometimes you think, you think that you're going to meditate. I tell you, usually there's a worse meditation. When you don't expect anything, you just natural, like at days that I do not expect anything. I just sit, I got very good meditation. The best meditation that I've ever had is most of the time when I'm not expecting anything, just natural. And it's good to meditate every day and not try to whenever we have time, we a bit of get up a little bit early, get into the habit and do it every morning. Even those you cannot focus on the breath, is okay. Just sit there quietly. Even though your mind wander off, is okay. At least you know how busy your mind is, isn't it? Just sit there. Even with that, you feel calm. Even you sit there, even you can't focus on your breath, but if you sit for a little while, you feel peaceful, you feel calm. So it's okay. So it's good to get into the habit, like do it every day, and not a particular time, a particular day, And yes, and you feel, it's better to just, when you, sometimes even you don't feel like it, also you meditate. You feel like it, you meditate. You don't feel like it, you meditate. So that's the best. It's just that sometimes I need to give talks, And at times I really don't feel like giving a talk. At times I feel like giving the talks, I give the talks. And at times I really don't feel like giving the talks, I still have to give a talk. So, and actually it's good to go, to challenge ourselves, to go against our likes and dislikes. Because if not, then after a while, it's okay. Things that we don't like is fine, And you become more equanimous and you're more even-minded. You're not being sucked in, into the fantasy, and into things that, we like them, we are so happy, And then at one moment we are in heaven, another moment in hell, And just imagine your mind is just go like that. But it's just okay, it doesn't matter because, this is part of life. None of us in this world that you feel happy all the time, isn't it? At times that you are not that great, at times you feel really great. It's fine. You just at ease and at peace with whatever experience that you experience in this moment, and just allow things be. So that's why sometimes it's good that even though you don't feel like it, you still meditate. You feel like it, you meditate. It's best to make it like time, but not to be too have to be a particular day or a particular time. So whenever you have time, you just meditate. And any more questions or comments? Okay, no? Then we end this session.